and this here may be tough to you. Snack cake to me, yeah, more hostess. This been overdue forever. Asked me when it was dropping, said never. Should've made you cut the feta, but I designed it Freemason Margiela.
What's good, Shellitronnn here, the most woke, no joke, and I'm back again with a brand new video. And I'm gonna keep it real with you right now. Let me just go ahead and make this sentence sound sweet. Here it goes. Let me just go ahead and let it rip. The Carolina Panthers just got a blowout win against the New Orleans Saints. Now, I know there are some Saints fans watching this video at this very moment, and I know you're over there flexing your comment typing fingers to get ready to talk to me about context. Let me save you some time. I do not care. I don't want to hear a single word about context, because I wanted to bring up context to Saints fans last year, but all I kept hearing was, oh, you got swept, 3-0, 3-0. Oh, it's sad to be a Panther here. Oh, 3-0? How do we sweep you? How you let the Saints sweep you in the season, in the regular season and the postseason? How that happen for y'all? How that happen? My only question for Saints fans about the sweep last year is, what did that get you? Lombardi Trophy? A Super Bowl berth? Oh, wait. Y'all got to the NFC Championship game. Wait, no. That wasn't y'all in the NFC Championship game. Oh, y'all had a chance to win it because Drew Brees did what Drew Brees does, but the defense did what the defense likes to do, and that's choking big moments, which has been their MO for the last, let's call it 9 years now. Sorry, Saints fans. This may be your first time hearing it from me, but I've been hearing it from a lot of Saints fans for a very long time now, so something you gotta deal with. Anyway, this game right here was Ryan Kalil, our center's very last game as a Panther, and I'm not gonna lie, being an offensive lineman, I can understand it's not a very glamorous position. They don't get the kind of love they deserve unless you're like one of the top in the league, like one of the best at your position in the league for a long time. You don't really get the recognition or the love or the shine outside of your own franchise. People just don't care. It's not like a sexy position like quarterback or receiver or even an edge rusher or a really good linebacker or a safety, something like that. They don't really get any kind of respect for the most part in the league unless, like I said, you're like the #1 guy at your position. But Ryan Kalil, I have to say, he probably could be the second most impactful Panthers player in franchise history, just behind Agent 89. We know about the man, Steve Smith. I'm not 100% sure. Is Julius Peppers, I'm thinking about it now actually, is Julius Peppers a more impactful player for the Panthers than Ryan Kalil? I might have to knock Ryan down to #3, but that is in no way denying just what Ryan Kalil's meant to the team. He's been a consistent force on our team. When healthy, he's been one of the better things about the Panthers over the last a long time, honestly. The one thing I will say that knocks down Ryan's legacy for me is him campaigning so hard to get his brother on the team. I'm not gonna lie to you, I think if it weren't for the Kraken, I won't even use his name. If it weren't for the Kraken, I would say that Matt Kalil is probably the least impactful, or not the least, he's still very impactful, but in a negative way for the franchise. Probably the most negative player I can think of off top. Actually, if I just go ahead and take out legal matters and keep it on the field, I ain't gonna lie to you. Matt Kalil really might be the most impactful player for the Panthers in franchise history, in the negative way. Either way, man, Ryan Kalil's been a big part of the team. This man's been a cornerstone in the franchise for a minute now. But in other news, we saw Devin Funchess get benched for this game, a healthy scratch. That is very, very telling. I had videos weeks ago talking about what are we going to do with Devin Funchess? What is his role going to be? What does the team think about him? What do the fans think about him? We see what's happening here. Devin Funchess not getting the nod, him not getting targets, him being on different wavelengths with Cam, and then the backup quarterbacks as well. I think we understand the writings on the wall with what's going to happen with Devin Funchess. That is another wide receiver draft bust we've had. Curtis Samuel's still coming along, and we have to see how he plays next season. I think he'll end up being, a good addition to our team. DJ Moore obviously is a good addition to the team. But disappointment in Devin Funchess aside, I think our receiving core is going to be really, really good going into the future. But going into this game, my first thought is Kyle Allen is a monster. I did not expect to see this from Kyle Allen. This man is actually, he could be the truth. We know he went perfect last game when Taylor Heineke got hurt and he had to come in for a little bit. And this game, he played very well again. This man was making really great throws in tight windows. A long sideline pass to DJ Moore. I mean, 3rd and longs, 4th downs. This man is clutch and he's calm in the pocket. He can move too. Kyle Allen was running the ball too a little bit. I was actually very surprised to see this man had not jets, but he wasn't slow, and he was getting away from a lot of pressure, but he was also keeping his eyes downfield the whole time, which is what you want to see. You don't want to see your quarterback drop his eyes when he's rolling out and creating space and creating more time for the play. Now, making plays with your legs is impressive, but if you can roll out and make a pass out of the pocket while rolling out, it makes the defense have to work even harder because they can't just key in on you thinking, okay, he's out of the pocket, he's definitely going to run right now. If they have to stay on their receivers for more than 6 to 7 seconds, the receiver has a better chance to break that coverage and get open and make a big play out of what may have been busted blocking up front. Who knows? But that brings up another point for me. Our O-line played so well. Our O-line played so well up until about, what, week 10-ish? I think even in week 11 we played pretty good. But lately, our quarterbacks are getting hit a lot. A lot more quarterback hits than I remember Cam taking, honestly. And it's got me thinking, has our O-line play been getting worse later in the season? Or is it just that our backup quarterbacks are kind of, I don't want to use the word fragile or injury prone because we don't have a lot of tape on them, but do they just get hurt easily? But watching our backup quarterbacks drop like flies basically really hurts. And it hurts even more because they've been having some pretty impressive games up until the point where they get hurt. Taylor Heineke was looking like the truth. Kyle Allen was looking like the truth. This man was looking better than Taylor Heineke at some points. And it's actually very, very wild. Kyle Allen does not care. He will throw it up there and make the receiver make a play for the ball. And for the most part, we've been seeing, okay, Curtis Samuel is not scared to go up there. DJ Moore is not scared to go up there. Jarius Wright, I keep saying this every single week, but every single play I see with Jarius Wright in it, I am more and more impressed. And the fact that we signed this man for 3 years, Jarius Wright is going to be a great part of our offense going forward, man. I'm actually extremely excited about him. He might be my favorite free agent pickup. I actually might like him more than Eric Reed in some ways. I guess the alternative would have been Colin Jones still, and we saw how he did in that Bengals game. But speaking of Colin Jones, let's talk about Teddy Bridgewater, who was the starting quarterback for the Saints in this game. That's part of the context. Okay, we know we beat the Saints today, but they had their backup quarterback in, no Alvin Kamara. Obviously, some other guys were out. They had a running back who rushed for 104 yards on only 10 carries. Mark Ingram was still in there, busting tackles. I mean, they had enough of their weapons still out there for the team. Michael Thomas was in the game until the 4th quarter. And it just blows my mind that Teddy Bridgewater is probably going to get paid some big bucks in the offseason. Now, I like Teddy Bridgewater. I want the man to do well. I mean, look. We all want these guys to get their money and do what they can for their families and whatnot. But that was not a great game at all from Teddy Bridgewater. He completed, 64% of his passes, 14 for 22. But it was a touchdown and an interception. The man only got, 118 yards on 22 attempts? And the interception was Colin Jones? How do you let Colin Jones pick you off? But the thing is, that's not even the worst part about what Teddy Bridgewater did today in this game. Michael Thomas was only in the game to break the franchise record for receiving yards in one season. It was at 1,399, so he needed to hit 1,400 yards. And it took Teddy Bridgewater into the 4th quarter to get this man 13 yards. There's just no way it should take any quarterback in the National Football League more than 3 quarters to get Michael Thomas yards. That just really hit me the wrong way. And it wasn't like Michael Thomas wasn't getting open. There were several times, especially on crossing routes. If you notice, they ran Michael Thomas on so many different crossing routes in this game to get him open. They weren't really rub plays or pick plays, but it really did get the defense a little bit confused, and he'll be wide open on at least, I want to say I'm for sure about 2, and I think he was open on a 3rd time, but I don't actually remember exactly what the play was. But I know for sure there was 2 where he was wide open. One time, Teddy didn't throw to him. The second time, Teddy completely overthrew Michael Thomas up the sideline, but Michael Thomas was open from the moment he hit the left hash until he hit the sideline on the other side of the field. He was going from the left side of the field to the right, so he was open for a strong at least 20-25 yards going laterally. Now, Kyle Allen, he did a little something. I'm very impressed with Kyle Allen. Ian Thomas, he really might be my 2nd favorite draft pickup this season, behind DJ Moore. We all love Dante Jackson. He had a lot of picks early in the season. But in the back half of the season, Dante's been a lot quieter in the secondary. And Ian Thomas, although he only had a few games, to really display his talents, he's really had an impact. I want to say no loss in production between him and Greg Olsen. I'm not even going to lie about that. It's not just like short little curls or pass to the flats. This man can go upfield too. He's a big body, not a lot of speed, but he has strong hands and can rip that ball down. He's a really smart player in the end zone. He knows when to make his cuts, when to make his breaks to get out of that coverage. And that's a skill that I think is probably really hard to teach in the NFL. He's going to have that little switch in your mind to let you know, make this cut right now. I can be open for my quarterback in the end zone. I can snatch this ball down. I'm very excited about Ian Thomas. Now, I know I've had a lot to say about Cameron Artis-Payne over the last few months, especially in the preseason and around draft time, but he had a pretty nice little game here. 16 carries, 56 yards for about 3.5 yards per carry. That's about what you want to see out of a number 2 running back, kind of like your power back kind of situation there. It was a solid performance for Cameron Artis-Payne, so I got to give credit where it's due. But onto our defense, look. Julius Peppers, it really does suck that, I mean, we couldn't get him what he really wanted for his last season in the league. But he got a sack in this game, which is really cool. So did Mario Addison. I think Mario needed one more sack to break double-digit sacks in consecutive seasons. I don't think he got that this season. Pep needed just one more sack, or even I think it was half a sack, to jump to 3rd in the all-time NFL sack leaders list above Kevin Green, who we should know who that guy is. But he didn't get it, but we all know he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. There's no question. The man's a Carolina legend. And for him being 47 years old, still putting in work in the league, I gotta say, Julius Peppers is an anomaly. You think that Tom Brady being 41, throwing checkdowns every other play is impressive? Look at what Julius Peppers is doing in a much more physically demanding position that's not protected by all these different rules for the NFL, and still producing at a high level. That's what I really consider impressive. We saw Rashawn Gardner get in the game a little bit in the second half for Mike Adams. There was some pretty good plays from him. He had a really good breakup on his second play in the game, I believe it was. We're going to see Rashawn Gardner next year with a much bigger role. I don't think we're going to be bringing back Mike Adams. I don't know what we're going to do in free agency, in the draft. So we're going to see what we do in that kind of situation. But overall, this wasn't really a bad game. I'm not going to lie to you, given the context of it being week 17, the Saints already locking up the number 1 seed in the NFC, them just not caring, and Drew Brees not being in the game, and Teddy Bridgewater not being impressive by any stretch of the imagination. What am I going to say? What am I going to say? I mean, it's cool. The Falcons won. That's the one thing I do want to mention. The Falcons won their game against the Bucs. They almost choked it. They actually were getting blown out early, then came back, then almost choked. Then they needed a last-second field goal for Matt Bryant. Matt Bryant, you my dude. So we're going to have a pretty decent-looking draft pick this offseason coming up in the summer. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I would kind of have preferred a loss. That's for draft pick reasons. But honestly, whenever I look up and I see 33-14, Panthers over Saints, it's worth it. Miss me with all that context stuff. I don't want to hear it. But what are your thoughts on this game? Anything that I missed? What do you find that was exciting in this game? What are your thoughts on the future for the team? Different position groups like wide receivers, running backs. CMC didn't get his 1,000, but that was okay. I thought it was a really smart decision to take him out. Don't let him get injured. We could have forced the yards through the air for him, but honestly, minimizing his hits, I guess, this late in the season, I guess is minimize what you can. He's already been in 97% of the plays on offense, so he's been getting touched a lot. But honestly, I'm not too mad about that. Moving forward, what do you see for our team? Coaching changes? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And you already know to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Being told y'all I been the man. Being told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.